Hello again, sweet darlings. If you're new here, then welcome. I'm Elizabeth, the mom of 2 little girls and a stepmom, homemaking in the English countryside. I release weekly videos here all about faith, femininity, and homemaking, so if you like those kinds of videos, then it would be lovely to have you subscribe. Welcome to my second making do video of this year. I've set myself a bit of a challenge this year to consume less and create more, and so this is what I've managed to make or do without, or just kind of get along with in February, or make it myself if I could. I hope that you really enjoy the video. Okay, so another way that I've been making do this month is using some old postcards actually that I've been holding on to. A kindly neighbor gave me some. She was sorting them out and she had like hundreds, and I have finally found a design in that pile that is really pretty. Kind of an old painting of some girls picking cherries, and so I thought I can use these cards for the thank you notes for my daughter's recent birthday. Instead of buying cards or making cards like I did last month, I thought I can use some of these up and actually not have to store them. So that's what I'm doing here, just kind of multitasking, having some breakfast, super glamorous, and writing thank you notes with my toddler's help as well, ready to send. It was really only a few that I needed to send, and we're lucky to have a post box pretty much right outside our house, so I just walked out and did that later on. So on the topic of recent birthdays, this is the gift that I got from my baby for her birthday, just a little rocking horse toy, and the girl comes off, which I thought was kind of cute and also makes a nice decoration. And at the time when I was filming this, I also realized that I needed to make some face oil for myself, so that's what I'm filming here. I've been doing this for myself for a couple of years now. It's something that's really easy to do, and it also gives you control over what you put in your face products and onto your skin. I like kind of knowing what goes on there, especially because buying something over the counter, it just seems extortionately expensive to me, and then I think, well, it's not even good for me probably. I can't pronounce half of the ingredients, so I make this with some sweet almond oil, some vitamin E oil, and then just some frankincense oil, which is supposed to be good for your skin, and so far it's been doing all right for me, and it's low cost to do. I can top it up anytime if I run out, and later on in the video I'll also show you I made some whipped tallow face balm because my skin's been feeling really dry with the heating on all of the time, so I actually needed a bit of a boost there. Something that my husband did this month is he actually removed a couple of radiators in the living room. You can see in the back of the shot here, I'm cutting his hair. That's something else we do ourselves. I've been doing that maybe for a year and slowly improving my technique, so that's good. But we decided to take the radiators out because we've actually switched our heating source, so we didn't need those anymore, so that was great to get those out of the way, and it really added quite a bit of space to the living room actually. I found with cutting someone's hair, I was very grateful when my husband ordered me some hairdressing scissors. Those make a big difference. But also just watching a few tutorials for the type of hair that someone has is really helpful. And now you've got a viewing treat, because this is hilarious, because I'm going to try and cut my own hair for the first time after watching a few YouTube tutorials, and apparently this is the way to do it. You tie it underneath your chin, and then depending on how long your hair is, you have to add little hair elastics all the way down the length of your hair so that your hair stays relatively straight. You're supposed to tighten it up, and I watched a very hilarious Russian lady do this, so I won't try to do a Russian accent for you, although I do like doing accents, but suffice it to say, for 5 minutes work and probably 15 minutes of watching a few tutorials, I was happy with the results. Sometimes my husband has been cutting my hair for me, but it always seems to be a little bit of hassle, especially when you're tired at the end of the day, to sit down and have your hair cut or have someone do it for you. And these days, kind of spending what I would need to spend to go to a salon, or even finding the time with 2 kids in tow, just seems a little bit much. But I was happy with this. It's kind of relatively straight. I took off all of the split ends and it just felt lighter, and it's not getting caught down my back so much, so I was happy with this kind of new task of making do. So I probably will do it again in the future, to be honest, and maybe even try some layers next time, but it just felt that little bit lighter for hopefully some warmer weather coming soon, and a little bit easier to care for. Hello everybody, I'm here with my little helper, and I just wanted to come on to show you kind of my dewy skin, because I have had such dry skin this winter, and I have finally gotten around to today making myself some whipped tallow kind of face moisturizer. I used to use just pure tallow, and then I saw this recipe for whipped tallow, so I've just added in a little bit of vitamin E and I've just put it on my face, and although it felt kind of very oily when I put it on, it feels like it's already sinking in. I'm not wearing makeup, but it just feels so nice and moisturizing. And I put some on my legs as well, but then the dog started licking my legs. That's the downside of using tallow, is that you just smell and taste so beefy. So if you've got dogs, maybe learn from my mistakes and don't put it on your legs. But yeah, just another thing that I'm kind of making myself this month. I ran out of kind of other facial moisturizer. It's just not doing the trick. It's not keeping me moisturized, so I decided to make a little bit of I was making tallow anyway to cook with, and I've just saved a little bit behind and tried to make whipped tallow balm for my face. So we'll see how that goes. We'll see if it works long term. We will update you. Another way that I have been making do this month is realizing that there's a lot of things that I thought I needed which I actually don't need. Now, this isn't just stuff that I've been holding on to that I could have gotten rid of. It's also stuff like a custom floor-to-ceiling bookshelf that my husband and I have been talking about as a project for him to take on this year. And I realized that the only reason we thought we needed such a big bookshelf and new shelving and for him to build something is because our bookshelf is badly organized and it is stuffed with books that we have either never read or are not going to read again. So this is probably maybe the 4th time since we've been together that I have ruthlessly sorted out our books, and I include kids' books in that. And I was really happy to be able to run these past my husband and for him to say, yes, we can get rid of these, and we can now have a little bookshelf which is just, at perfect reach for everybody to get their favorite books down. It looks nicely organized, and it's suddenly become one of those little pretty corners of the house, which I hadn't anticipated that it would ever be. So I am glad that we don't have to build a bookshelf now, and we've sorted out books that were just taking up space and we've never read. So that was a very satisfying little mini project this month, really. Okay, another way that I made do this month was by managing to frame a little print that my sister bought me in an existing frame that we had. We had this little picture up in our spare room, kind of my office I like to call it, although it's definitely not an office, of pigs, because we used to keep pigs, but I just don't love the print. To be honest, I never have, which is probably why I never hung it on the wall. But I do love this new little print that my sister got me, mostly because the little baby reminds me so much of my baby at the moment with those funny little chubby cheeks, and I love it that it's a picture of a family going for a walk, which we do all the time. So I'm just going to use the existing frame that I had, pop this in there, and then my husband later on, he kindly hung this up in the kitchen for me, so I've got a bit of an art wall going and I can look at all of my favorite pictures there while I'm cooking. Now, perhaps this doesn't really count as making do, but we certainly have been having a lot more outdoor fun this past month as it's brightened up and been a little bit warmer where I live. And one of those really fun activities has been taking my toddler out on her bike a bit more, and she is getting quite confident, as you can see. So this is a nice kind of afternoon activity. We don't usually take the dogs, but we go for a little cycle ride. And the last thing that I made this month was just a little birthday card. I just designed it on Canva for my husband's birthday, and I accidentally printed it really teeny tiny, but he didn't seem to mind. It was kind of an adorable mini card for his birthday. So that's a wrap for how I've been making do in February and what I have made and the new things we've tried, and I will be sure to update you what we make ourselves in March. I have got a few projects that I would really like to get done as the weather brightens up, and probably quite a few of those things will be making do in the garden. So I look forward to seeing you all back here again for the next making do video or another video, but in the meantime, take good care everyone, and God bless.